welcome to the Cleaning Business Mentor Podcast. In today's episode, my guest is Mr. Jhony Assis from Seattle, Washington. Now, Jhony is the owner and founder of Amazonia Green Cleaning, and we brought him on the show today because he has had some very awesome success in his business within the first 2.5 years, and I figured he would be a great candidate to come on the show for those that are just starting off in residential cleaning. And he'll give us some tips and insights on how to hit that multi-six-figure mark in your cleaning business. So welcome, Jhony, to the podcast.
Thank you, Caroline. Thanks for having me here.
No, of course. So this is actually, I think this is your second podcast now, right?
This is my second podcast, yes.
Awesome.
I've been one in Atlanta.
You just did one in Atlanta. Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram story. I thought that was pretty cool. So I'll make sure to also put a link to the first podcast that Jhony was in the description of this video. If you guys want to go check that out, it is in his native language, which is Portuguese. Jhony, you are from Brazil, right?
Brazil, yes. Been here since 2016.
2016. So tell us a little bit about how you got into the cleaning industry. And what made you decide to open up a cleaning business?
Yeah, I like to say that I fall on a cleaning service with a parachute. Was nothing planned, and just kind of fall in a random place that kind of found myself in. But I've moved here in 2016 as an immigrant. Started doing all sort of jobs such as, painting, being a painter. I've delivered pizza back in the day. I did Uber Eats back in the day. I work as a carpenter. So I've done a lot of stuff prior getting to the cleaning service, and kind of found myself in the cleaning service. But just that process of getting to a new place, a new country, and being able to learn first the language, which is, I think, is the biggest barrier between getting a better job and a better opportunities prior you getting to your own thing like I did.
Oh, that's awesome. I think that's awesome that you came here with the intent to, listen, I'm going to learn the language first because, like you said, that could be your biggest challenge when moving to a new country. I'm trying to teach myself Spanish now, and it's not easy. So for you to come over as a young kid and be that determined, I think that says a lot about, you as an entrepreneur, really.
Yeah. And it, like I've been in sales my entire life. And when your job is let's say a salesman, a sales guy, and you move to a place where you can sell. I mean, you could sell to your community, like a Brazilian community, but you just don't really have a knowledge of the culture, and all how everything works in a different country. So it's very complicated. But I'm my first generation here. Then now I have part of my family that lives here. Have part of my family that lives in Brazil. But it's been good. I mean, the process, the learning, the experience, it's been great. Now it's 9 years. Clearly I speak. There's some accent, but we do speak a little bit of English now, so I
think your English is actually great. You don't give yourself enough credit. I mean, you have an accent, but it's a nice one, so it's not like we don't understand what you're saying, but your accent is just fine. Actually, I wanted to talk a little bit about, so you came here and you did a couple of different things, like most people, yes. Right? You sound like a true hustler at heart, trying to find different ways to make money. I know you mentioned Uber Eats was something you were doing at one point, but how did cleaning come along for you? Was it like something that you enjoyed doing and somebody, asked you like, hey, Jhony, would you mind cleaning my house? Or was this like idea brought to you? Like what made you say, okay, after doing Uber Eats, after trying all these different things, I think this is something that I want to spend some time on and see if I can make money?
Yeah, so I was in actually San Francisco prior moving to Seattle, and was working there. Me and my ex-partner, we moved to Seattle we came to Seattle for a couple of weeks, and we was just, taking a 2 weeks trip, and we found an opportunity to open a Brazilian steakhouse because of the community was very big. There was no restaurant opening in Seattle other than, big corporation that's not very accessible to everyday eating, let's say that, right?
Hmm.
Um, and we decided moving to Seattle to open the restaurant in 2019, but that was August, so it was prior COVID. So we moved
Ah.
here without not knowing that this was going to be a thing, COVID, and all of a sudden, after everything was planned out and uh, shut down everything, and it wasn't really able to open um, what we planned to. So along the way, uh, long story short, I've start thinking like, what am I gonna do? I doesn't really have another option, so I started doing Instacart, which is deliver grocery food. Groceries, go to grocery store, shop for people, and deliver food in their house, because that was pretty much the option
I
you
imagine
had.
that was
If
a
you
big business during COVID, right? Nobody really wanted to leave.
Oh, I've made a ton of money. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say numbers, but I was making like a $4,000 a week with, because everybody was so generous with tips. So like you would go deliver Coca-Cola and someone would give you like $100 tip. Thanks for your service.
Oh, wow.
And
Because you were like a
I was,
frontline worker at that point.
yeah. Then as soon as shut down, everything. I mean, all the stores, nobody could get into the grocery store, so that was just us out there. Anyway, so then doing that, I kept doing that for probably 3 4 months, and start thinking like, I mean, what am I gonna do? Things to start to open up, and then I thought about it. People are very worried about cleanliness right now, and sickness and everything. They what they might be looking for, and the cleaning was one of the biggest option, with the more cautions, of course.
That's awesome. So you decided to, okay, we're going to start this cleaning business because the restaurant business didn't work out, which that kind of sucked at the time. But, I guess in retrospect, everything happens for a reason. I know that going into the residential cleaning space,
Okay.
you were able to hit a goal that most people don't hit within the first year or two, and that's actually hitting multi six figures.
Yeah, so I've been very fortunate when I start. Of course, I put a lot of work in, but I feel that a lot of people that get into cleaning business, they really forget that that's also an actual business, and a lot of people get into it, and they just kind of start working for themselves, and just get used to it and don't grow, especially on the residential service.
Right. A lot of people
And
stick to solo cleaning.
yeah, but I started with the intention of becoming a company, not you know working on the field. So I actually just worked on the field for like about 3 months.
Oh, that's awesome.
I found a platform which a lot of people overlook. I don't know how it's to start now. I think it's very hard because the leads are very expensive. But I started with the Thumbtack, just getting some jobs, and I start to become popular in the area. And today I close over 630 clients in the last year, a year and 8 months, 1 year and 8 months, 2 years roughly, just on this platform. And of course, all other platforms that we've been using now. But the primary back in the day that I started with was like Thumbtack, and with
Hmm.
about 6 months, we was hitting the six figures with all the reoccurring clients.
It's crazy. That's a really big accomplishment, to hit six figures within 6 months, especially on a platform like Thumbtack that is very competitive, right? As you mentioned, it might be a little bit more expensive if you're just thinking about starting off on Thumbtack. And we're going to let Johnny talk a little bit more about that. But it is a really good platform for those that are just looking to start off to make some money, right? So if you're a solo cleaner and you need to make some quick cash, Thumbtack is a great option for you to go ahead and sign up yourself and your business. So through Thumbtack, you were able to get to actually the six figure mark within 6 months. And how is that looking for you now? Is that a platform that you are still actively using within your cleaning business?
Yeah, I think so. Thumbtack is great. I mean, it was great for me. and I still use it. Yeah, so I do use Thumbtack, but for in a different purpose now, right? So I really look into reoccurring revenue. I really look into primarily I work with bi-weekly, weekly, and monthly clients. Of course, we do deep cleanings, move outs, but I leave that for Google, for example. But if you, like you mentioned before, if someone is trying to start it out, Thumbtack is a great platform, but it's a very competitive platform. So you need to get in there with the mindset of, okay, so what am I doing this for, right? And what I mean this is, if you get there with the first month and second month thinking about making a lot of money, that might not be the right place for you,
Right.
because you do have the process of building up a reputation inside of that platform prior to you actually being able to price accordingly.
Mm.
That happened a lot. I've seen a lot of people that get that doesn't want to really do anymore because of
They don't give it
getting
enough
the
time.
they don't give it enough time. And I think this is all the business. I think that's what the biggest problem with the residential is, that the entry is very easy because the investment is very low.
Right.
However, the problem is that people doesn't really want to invest on it as much as other people invest in other businesses, right? And I think people, if everybody look into cleaning, residential, commercial as a business from the start, they will see that eventually they will get to what they want. Because it's one of the unique businesses that you can actually earn that recurring revenue, other than, like open a restaurant that you rely on people coming in every single day, and they are not like coming every single day or every week or every month. So you need to advertise every time, always. And fortunate on a cleaning service, after you have a client, if you treat that client right, he'll stay a long time with you. A lot of people like 10 years, 5 years, 3 years.
Yeah, no,
So
that's true. And just to talk about something that you had mentioned, with marketing, like you said, people like to give up way too quickly, whether that's on Thumbtack, whether that's Google Ads, any type of investment. I noticed that new cleaning business owners, or those that are just not used to having a marketing spend, they never give it that month to 2 to 3 month mark where they can finally see if the ads are actually, running properly, or if their ROI is actually worth it. So, I mean, you dropped the gem right there. You have to be very patient with trying new, different marketing avenues for your cleaning business, regardless if it's Thumbtack, Google, Facebook ads, or anything like that. And something that,
yeah,
again, that you had mentioned, which is key to why you were able to get to that six-figure mark within 6 months and multi six figures after that first year, is because of the reoccurring revenue, right?
just
You can fill up a schedule with deep cleans, move in, one-time cleanings, but that shouldn't be the goal when you own or you're operating a residential cleaning company. Just like commercial, you want to have those clients that are recurring every single month, because the lifetime value of the customer is then worth a lot more.
yeah. And not just that, I see a lot of people trying to take in many directions at the same time. And if I mean, if you're an investor and you do have a money to do that, fine. I mean, you can grow in many platforms at the same time: Yelp, Angel Leads, Google. I mean, whatever, like Thumbtack. But if you are limited in funds, and if you wanna, that's how I see it right now, right? I would invest my time in one platform and be great on that one specifically. And after you have, all the referrals, all the reviews, I would have moved forward to another one and grow in the other platform, and kind of divide that budget between those two platforms. Because now, for example, I don't use Thumbtack as my primary anymore, but I do leave Thumbtack for just reoccurring clients, because they see that I have today like 600, more than 600 jobs done, 293 reviews on Thumbtack. I can go to Google now and invest my time there, because clients organically going to come through Thumbtack because they see that I do have, referrals. So yeah, so that's how I see people like making mistakes, try to take all the avenues at the same time, and kind of like, okay, I'm getting frustrated, I'm spending too much money with the
Yep.
leads, and that might be the reason.
Yeah, no, that's true. You put too much of your money in different places at once, and you don't give it a full chance. You're gonna feel like you're wasting your money. But yeah, you guys, if you're interested in Thumbtack, Jhony actually has created a course. Now it is in Portuguese. You want to tell us a little bit about that? I know you have been, building a community and trying to help other people get to the point where you've grown your business.
Yeah, so uh, when we initiated the conversation, I mentioned about all the barriers due to the language, and it's very hard to start something, right? And Temtech, he does give you the opportunity to start. I mean, before you even have an actual company, you can start like
Mm.
getting clients, and then eventually, of course, the direction will be you becoming a company. But if you're trying to get a, job at least to work, have day to day, because it's different, right? I mean, a lot of people does have the opportunity with a lot of jobs, but for our community, it's not everybody that does have that, right? There is a language barrier. That is, just opportunities in general that just doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And Temtech does give you the opportunity if you're willing to put the work on. So I created this course where I help people to, get into Temtech first. I will guide them how to open a company. Eventually, I'm starting with Temtech because, like I said, that's the entry way. But I will help them to open a company, teach them how to open a company, how become successful in the cleaning business, because that's what I do, and it's been working for me. And as you know, you in the cleaning business as well, there's a space for everybody, and it's very easy to um, replicate what we're doing.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's no point in, in reinventing the wheel when so many other people have been successful, at having a very profitable cleaning business. I think it's awesome that you are helping your community, right? Because there are a lot of coaches, there are a lot of courses, there's a lot of material out there for people that speak English, right? Um, but there is a lack of support in the cleaning industry for the Brazilian community. Um, and I mean, you found that issue and now you're kind of bridging that gap, which I think is great because there's nothing like being able to help people make more money and improve their lifestyle.
Yeah, and they are just seeing them how I started lunch a couple of days ago on Monday. I was able to sell like 30 courses like in the first day, so that was great.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, that was the feeling was good. The reviews, like the feedbacks was awesome. Like how much they are thankful for that because they don't have the information. They just know what they know. So my main goal is just kind of like help them get into the platform and making sure that they don't dismotivate themselves because they will get there, they don't have the information, they don't know how to they don't speak English, so they won't be able to actually go through the settings and the setting up everything like properly to actually get the leads, and they will get there. Thumbtack are very expensive if you don't know how to use it. They will take like $600 in 2 days easy if you really don't know how to use it. So that's what I've, with my experience and being successful in the platform, that's what I'm doing it.
No, and that's awesome. So where do you see yourself? Because you've been in the industry for 2.5 years now. You've gotten your cleaning business to, again, a point where, most people dream of getting their business to. Where do you see yourself or your cleaning business? Because I know that now, you are going to be helping the Brazilian community. You've begun your journey on content creating, giving back, tons of information about how to grow your cleaning business. But what do you see your cleaning, like, what do you see for yourself with your cleaning business within the next 12 months or so?
12 months. Okay. So I'm closing this year. We crossing probably a million next month. So this is a very yoo-hoo.
That's
This is
amazing.
I'll be closing to 2024, passing the mark of $1 million in uh, uh, residential cleaning. My goal with the next 12 months will actually, I'm not looking specifically for the revenue. Of course, we always trying to make money, but I actually want to become a full service home service.
Nice. And what does that look
So
like for you?
so I want to make sure that we can, uh, get a client and being able to do all sort of service such as roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, pressure washing, carpet cleaning, uh, duct, vents, everything that's related to home service.
No,
That's
that's
my primary goal. Get to the next year, and of course, keep growing organically, mostly, but make sure that we can actually get those services attached to our business.
yeah, no, I think that's awesome. Being a full service cleaning company for your residential clients, there's just so many different services that you can add on to help grow that revenue.
Yeah.
Huge congratulations, by the way, not on just the course, but getting to that seven-figure mark. It's a really big deal. By the time you guys get into January of next year, 2025, you'll have been in business for what, like approximately 3 years?
Approximately 3 years, yeah. So I actually opened the company 2021, but I started, my company was open for 1 year without doing anything. So
Right.
2022 was when I actually started. So April 1st was when I first tried to get my lead. I look at the platform all the time. I was like, let me see when they started. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like April 1st. That was when I actually started
Of
working on my
2022.
clinical of 2022, yes.
Okay.
So it'll be like 2 years by the end of next year, 3 years and a half, I would say.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a huge deal. I mean, again, congratulations to you. Um, you guys, this is literally a story of, you know, being able to build a business from nothing, right? Because you bootstrapped this business from what I understand. You didn't have any loans or anything like that. You actually came into this not even thinking you were going to start a cleaning business. You were looking to open a restaurant. Um, are you happy that the restaurant didn't work out? I feel like I would be.
Yes, no, yes. I
Okay.
think, like we all know, like restaurants are very hard to
Yeah, they're
manage.
difficult. It's a difficult
It,
business.
it's very hard to be successful. It's very expensive to get in, and it's not. I don't know. I just love the recurring revenue. I just love to the contract is signed, and you don't really have. Of course, you want to grow, but I can sit back a little bit for like a couple of days and say, okay, my clients is gonna still be there.
Right. You don't have to worry about somebody coming in to buy something because you have all these different systems in place.
Yeah,
Um, I think that's awesome. I'm really excited to see not only where you go with your content creating and coaching the Brazilian community, but also I would love to see, how your business grows with over the next 12 months and what type of different services that you're going to be adding on to your home, your full service residential business. I do want to say thank you so much for coming on to the show. Where can people find you? So, of course, I'm going to put all of your links down in the description of this video so that people can go check out that Thumbtack course. But where are you mostly active on social media?
I'm not a really active person on social media like like you guys are. I've been trying to get into this so people get to know me and get to know what I'm offering to help them out. But mostly it's on my Instagram, which I don't know the link
It's
for it. So
okay.
I'll
We'll
just
we'll we'll link it
it's
down
John
below.
my name is Jhony Assis. So I'm sure that you put it on below there and people can find me there. So that's yeah, and I want to thank you, Caroline, for having me here, and for introducing me to the cleaning cocktails.
Oh yeah, that was an
that was a very good experience. I've got to meet a lot of people that have been on the commercial area, on the residential service, and they've been giving tons and tons of tips.
no for
Have
sure.
people
That's
from
true.
Florida, California.
Oh yeah, and that's why I love going to these different events. It's we go there to learn, of course, and sometimes after going to a few of them, they become a little bit repetitive, but it's mostly about making the connections with people. I know that you were able to find your community like that.
Yeah,
Like
no, that was nice.
you showed up and it was like everybody that was from your country, um, came up to you and greeted you. And then, like you said, you got to meet all these other cleaning business owners that are in different spaces, right? And are able to give us help and tips and inspiration really as to like, okay,
Yes.
what are we gonna do next?
Yeah, and how they are willing to like sit down with you. People, I was sitting down with a guy that makes $15 million a year, and I was like, man, okay, how do I get there? And he wasn't worried. He's like, take this way, and this way, just kind of giving you guidance of how to get there. And
Yeah,
that
it's
was
amazing.
a very nice experience.
No, for sure. Shout out to Ricky Regalado for putting together this year's Cleaning and Cocktails in San Jose. That was definitely a lot of fun and worth the trip. Well, I'm glad you were able to make that event, and we hope to see you at future events that we're going to be going to. But yeah, if you guys want to follow Jhony and check him out, be sure to check out his Instagram. I'm going to have his link for you guys. I'll have a link to his course if you guys happen to speak Portuguese. I'm sure Johnny's also going to be coming out with courses in English. So please be
And
sure to give him
Spanish.
and Spanish, okay? English and Spanish. So please be sure to check out his website, all his social media accounts. And if you guys have any comments or questions for Jhony, please drop them in the comment section. I'm sure that he would be happy to answer any of the questions that you have. Now we're trying to get him to start a YouTube channel.
She's been trying to get him into YouTube, and I'm trying to get in YouTube, but I'm terrible with the time management, and I procrastinate too much.
That's every entrepreneur under the sun. Don't worry about it. You're doing really great so far with everything that you're doing. I mean, you're killing it on Instagram. You know, you banged out that course. You said, I'm going to do it by this date. You made it happen. And yeah, you're doing awesome. So give yourself some grace. We look forward to
Thank
seeing
you.
more of you on all the social platforms. And of course, having you back on the show for an update. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. And we really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Caroline.